Hey everybody, it's been a long time since I've made a video, and right now I'm in Apple's Freeform app, and I'm going to use this as a sort of journal slash brainstorm. I'm going through a lot of different stress in my life, and what I'm going to do here is just use this app as a way to kind of gather my thoughts. I'm going to, color code things, just make sketches and stuff. Let me actually change my battery to not be on low power mode so that this thing's a little bit more responsive. There's a lot of dots on here. I'm gonna zoom in all the way, or like zoom out, and let me start from so Freeform is supposed to have like an unlimited canvas, or like a technically unlimited canvas, because you can zoom in really far. But I want to make sure that I'm starting on the top left, like we're gonna fill up a page here. So a couple things. So my mind can easily wander into philosophical, theological, like woo mumbo jumbo stuff, but I need to reel it into the practical. So right now I just want to talk about finances and health. Right now I have high blood pressure, HBP, let's just call it HBP. HBP, high blood pressure, and then I also I'm just really stressed about a lot of stuff. Kind of flabby, need to go to the gym, so I need to exercise. What do I need to do with this? I need to reduce salt intake, and then I went to the doctor today, and he said reduce the good stuff, which was rice, bread, and pasta. So basically enriched carbs is what I need to avoid. I mean, I don't know why I have to write this down. This is just very general, like positive health stuff. All stuff that I already know. But I sat with my friend today, and I was having trouble, like in my philosophy class. I'm not having trouble with the classes I'm probably going to easily pass, but the stuff we encountered in the philosophy class, the stuff I was reading, was so challenging to the way I think and morality, and just basically getting to the first principles of morality, like basically relativism is what we were talking about, the sophists and relativism. And I was having a lot of trouble with it, and without getting too much into it, I sat with my friend, and just talking out loud, I was able to answer the questions that I was asking. And I feel like I'm an extrovert, and I need to be able to talk these things out and think out loud with a sounding board. Like, he was giving me feedback, but even if I speak out loud just to you guys in YouTube and you're not responding to me and you don't comment at all, and even if no one reads this, or even if no one watches this, it still helps me to just put it out there, because it's like I'm talking to myself and giving my own feedback. So anyway, this is just like physical stuff, right? Like body stuff. And I guess the question is, how do I want my body to be? I want to be healthy. I want to be active. I want to be useful. Like so I'm just going to write this down. Like, again, this is just a brainstorm. So Hellenism. So where am I coming from with this? This Hellenism is Greek, ancient Greek culture. And I am a Christian, right? So versus, I'm going to say Judeo-Christian morals. So this was important to me because I've always felt that exercise for the sake of exercise is not as good as it can be. Like, I think if you're working out, that's great. If you're doing a sport, like to win a competition or just for personal self-enrichment, that's great too, because that any kind of discipline like that is going to teach one to be disciplined, and it's going to make one functional in whatever task you're doing. Let's say you're in the military. Let's say you were an archer in the old English military, or you're a sniper in modern military, or working with drones or whatever. There's going to be some kind of development of skill. There's going to be practice. There's going to be reps. You got to get good at what you do. Let's say you're a doctor, farmer, lawyer. In any discipline, you can get extremely good at what you do. And they say that chess players, the top level chess players, will burn thousands of calories just from the sheer stress and input that they do when they're, at a high level chess tournament. Like, no matter what you do, if you're at peak performance, your body is gonna expend a lot of energy. Now, obviously, I do want to be fit. I do want to have muscles and stuff. So it's good to have like, a job that does include physical labor. However, for me, I can't exactly do that. I mean, I work in sales. I just stand and talk to people. On the side, I'm an artist. Like, I do content creation. I don't know. I do freelance. I draw. I have to sit and draw, and it's not like I can draw really well if I'm moving my body. So ultimately, my jobs are sedentary. So I do have to go to the gym to protect my health, to protect my longevity, to protect my stress. It's just a really good thing to do overall. Back in the day, if you were a hunter-gatherer or if you're a farmer or something, naturally, or even a builder or, anything like that requires physical labor, naturally your body is going to, gain muscle because out of necessity. So for me, I want to make sure that my exercise is useful. But because currently my job is sedentary, I'm not necessarily devolving into Hellenism because I'm not exercising for the sake of exercise. I'm not exercising because I want to jump the highest or, because I want to have the best body. I want to be geared towards something. And I also don't want to be utilitarian. I don't want that. Which is like, it's good to be useful, but like maximizing the benefit for the maximum number of people by any means. I believe in virtue. I believe in what is that? Immanuel Kant, like the Kant. I'm just gonna write all this stuff down. This is just a brainstorm. I got so obsessive over YouTube about like I want to grow my audience. Like, I obviously want it to be monetized, but I'm just gonna put this out because it's helpful to me, and ultimately I think it will be good in the long run. I'm playing the long game here. I'm not Mr. Beast. I'm not trying to like scientifically solve. My YouTube was demonetized, so it's like there's nothing to lose here now. My YouTube monetization happened off of one video, the Krita animation tutorial. But my life is no longer just about that. I was just trying to help people animate, and that single video and the series of videos I made after that completely carried my channel for like 6-7 years until I lost the viewership because I just wasn't making good videos. And still, this is probably not a great video, but it helps me improve. And the past like 200 or something videos have just been me focusing on self-improvement. So what are we going with here? I checked earlier on my stock account. It's an app called Stock Events where it just tracks dividends because I tried trading in the past, lost a lot of money, and it wasn't good. Now I still have stocks, but mostly from my job. The company I work for does give me stock every now and then. I make contributions from my paycheck to the stock account, so I get their stock at a discount, which is a great stock. And I get what are called restricted stock units, where every certain time period they'll give me stock for free, which is nice. So I have a lot of their stock, and most of my dividends come from there. But I'm gonna do a very slow dividend growth strategy. So with money, dividend growth. So stock dividend growth specifically. I am an accounting major, and I did study business finance. Div growth. So this is slow. Now, the current dividend income I make per year is very low, which is like, I think it was $25.51 per year, which equated to I don't remember the monthly, but it was 0.7 per day. Now, it would be great if my YouTube was monetized again, because YouTube was making something like 200 a year. So if I could just simply get the monetization back, I'm currently at 250 watch hours in trailing 365 days. So moving forward, I have to make sure that, you know, videos I make in the future are actually, you know, worth watching. And it has to go to 4,000 watch hours. And like Mr. Beast always says, it's easy to do with a single video. So if I can, like, even if I'm making a ton of bad ones, if I can scientifically, you know, just like Mr. Beast, like really scientifically solve how to make one good one, that should be enough to bring my 4,000, my trailing 365 days to back to 4,000. So this one good video, like, honestly, that Twitch, there have been, like, as an artist, there have been a couple long-term investments that I made. So one of them was the Create Animation tutorial video. That video probably carried my channel for me to make like $700 or $800 in the past few years. It's very low income, but it's nice because I didn't have to do much work after I put the video out. There was another commission I did. It was a digital painting of the Ghost Leviathan from the game Subnautica. It was a pretty good artwork. I didn't think much of it at first, but I put it on my online shop, and I also went to a few conventions, and that one artwork has probably made me something like $500, $600, or $700. I don't remember. I didn't count. But that's also over the past several years. But it's like these projects that I don't think much of them, luckily, resonated with a lot of people and made me some money. So it's honestly kind of random. So I need to just focus on output. And the thing is, you can make anything less random. So I want to write down here probability. I'm going to make this big. I'm going to zoom out here. I'm going to make my brush a little bigger. And again, taking it back to first principles, the universe kind of operates on probability. Kind of a weird lesson from Richard Feynman, who made the Feynman diagrams. Like, I know physicists understand this stuff on a deeper level, but from my understanding, the position of a photon is like probabilistic. It's probably in a certain spot because the laws of nature will probably put it there. But within a certain range, you'll see the position of a photon or a position of electron within a certain range. It's a wave, the wave particle duality. It's all really weird. But anyway, if the universe acts like that on a small scale, on large scales probably too. I mean, I can say that the sun is going to be 100% in the sky tomorrow, but in reality, it's like a 99.99999%. It's just predictable. It's highly probable, because that's just how the universe is. You can't say anything with 100% certainty. And the really weird thing about Richard Feynman, and how particles actually work, is that the position, the certainty of reality that we experience is an aggregate of all possibilities basically being added up, and then that's what we observe. So basically, it's just this weirdness. The position of a photon, it can go in every single direction. A single photon can go all the way across the universe and back in a zigzag looping pattern. It can spell out my name and write the text of the Bible and then come back to its original position. Like, it's not very likely, but I guess the way physics works is that it technically happens, in a way. I know there's many interpretations of this, but it happens, and the universe kind of adds up all those possibilities, and then what we observe in the course of time and space is where it probably is, with 99.99999%. It's probably there. And then again, that's how it works on a small scale. Anyway, the reason I'm talking about this is because on a larger scale, the certainty of anything is also very probabilistic. It's a weird way of thinking about it, but if I want to achieve a result, I just want to make it more and more probable. I think of Steph Curry, right? He's the greatest shooter of all time in the NBA. And if he shoots a three, there's a lot of compilations of Steph Curry shooting the three, and then he just turns away because he knows it's going in. Like, he knows it's going in. In a sports mental standpoint, he 100% knows it's going in. I mean, he's practiced it that many times. The reps, he can probably see the position of the ball as it's in the air, and like he's like, oh yeah, that's going in. So he doesn't have to look at it. It's great confidence. So with enough reps, really, you can make something very probable. So for me, I believe in God. I believe in prayer, right? I believe that God can do anything. At this point, especially because I understand that about physics, if anything's possible in the universe, maybe there's some watcher out there that can like manipulate it. Again, it's just some metaphysical postulation. Again, there's so much I can get into with Christian theology, but that's not what we're talking about. We're trying to reel it back in and get to the practical. If I want to be healthy and financially stable, like, what I need to do is take these goals and put the reps in to make it as probable as possible. So the reason I like thinking this way, first principles, is because, like, there's a lot of traditional ways to do things, and honestly, thinking this way is probably going to lead me to some traditional ways, but I can also probably discover some way to do it that is, I don't know, from first principles, more efficient than what exists. And the reason I want to think this way is because I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I've made a lot of very costly, very damaging mistakes to myself, to other people, and I've been in recovery for a couple years, trying to turn my life around. And the thing is, I'm not healthy, I don't have much money, and I have 2 kids. So I really want to have a solid path, to build a very solid game plan for myself moving forward. The thing is, my life's very chaotic, and there's a lot of unpredictability, there's a lot of stressors. I feel a lot of anxiety, I feel a lot of almost like a dizzy days, almost daily. And the reason I'm making this video is because I want to gather my thoughts. Like, this goal right here is probably a great goal. Like, I wouldn't have thought of that. I sometimes I think with YouTube, I just keep putting stuff out, and eventually everything will cumulatively accumulate to watch hours. But no, that's not the case. If I think about, proper success on YouTube, Mr. Beast is the best, and he has very thoroughly described his strategy, that he sciences it out. Like, he studies the algorithm, he studies thumbnails, he studies viewer retainment, like all that stuff. So you only need one. And then I think of, if we reduce it even more to first principles, what are you competing for in YouTube? You're competing for attention. What are people attentive to? They're attentive to, I don't know, anything that gives you dopamine, right? So flashy, stories, music is very catchy, or you can have quote unquote evergreen content. I think of Bob Ross. Like, it's educational, it's entertaining, and it gives you certain emotions. Bob Ross gives people that cozy feeling that they're being taught, they're being cared for, they're being attended to. Bob Ross is such a great personality. So Bob Ross's stuff is evergreen. There's probably a lot of educational content there that's evergreen. Kids stuff is very evergreen, like the alphabet song or whatever. I know kids YouTube it's a whole nother monster. I'm not really interested in making content for stuff like that, but who knows? I could experiment, and if something takes off, who knows? But I want to stay true to myself, so I don't want to just randomly go in any direction, just experiment to whatever, and then just play the game of getting views. I don't care about that. I care about integrity, that I take my own personal experience and who I am and what I know and my skills and turn them into I don't know, something valuable and something fulfilling. I have a lot of Christian philosophy and theology that I want to share with people. I want to what's the word, evangelize. I want to do that. But you know, there's a certain way to do it. So I think from here, like, I want to document and share my life. So that's the reason I make content in the first place. I'm streaming on Twitch right now as I make this. But this is going to be, I think, a good goal moving forward for YouTube. So we're just going to make one good one. So, yeah, let's do that. I think I've reached the purpose of this video. And hopefully, I mean, I just like to think out loud so you guys can hear the way I think. Again, ultimately, who really cares? If I get like 5 views on this, I'll be surprised. But I want to make one good one that will at least, at the very least, carry my my channel back to monetization. So I want to, let's actually write this down too. I want to preserve integrity. So let's bring this brush size back to small. I want to preserve integrity. So I don't want to just make stuff to get views or whatever. I want to make sure it's like true to me. But also tap into what makes a video good. So there's a lot of study on this. YouTube has been a game that people have been playing for a long time. There's e.g., catchy, evergreen, educational, dopamine. And if I'm not really gonna care about looking at YouTube trends and just copying that. I like making my own thing from looking at first principles. I think for me that's a lot more fun. Obviously, you can probably learn a lot from copying the greats, and you watch like one video on Steph Curry like teaching you how to shoot, and it improved my shot by a lot. But ultimately I like coming up with my own thing. So we'll see. I'm just gonna stop recording now because I feel like I've completed the thought that I was aiming at, and we're just gonna upload this and we'll just keep moving forward from there. I just want to document the process. God bless you all.